Welcome to Junk to Gems live at 5. I just love saying that, y'all. Welcome, everybody. Yes, I haven't hit the lotto yet, so I'm still here. But I still got my smile on. So, Paul and Petrus and Brian and Ariel and Judy, thank you all. I see y'all were the very first ones popping in here commenting. And yes, y'all see I'm dirty. So, if you haven't seen the video yet today, you'll know why. There's Wes. What's happening? Saying hello to everybody. So it's been a day, y'all. It's actually been 2 days, but that's not a bad thing. Got to see old Dave a little while ago. There's Bev Wilkerson. What's happening? So yeah, I got to see old Dave come on a little while ago. Uh, he's been busier than a one-legged man in a butt kicking contest. Oh, we are working hard, Brian. You know that. That's how we roll on the Gemstead. Work hard. We don't get no breaks for the weary around here. Even if you all know by now, if you've following long enough, I pretty much got to be on my deathbed before I'm stopping. There's Charlene. What's happening, Charlene? So yeah, we just been kicking that butt, man. We're expecting some rain. The pressure is only at 30.4, but I'm thinking it's probably going to come down a little bit. We might get a little sprinkle here, but they're also saying we've got a bunch of it coming on, so who knows. There's BNS Odyssey and Ray. What's happening? So I want to thank Mike. He had texted me, sent me an email earlier today about getting me some LS parts, which is awesome. So if y'all have seen the video of today's video, I want to tell you, I really don't know exactly what's going on that motor, but something is making a bunch of noise underneath there, and I haven't narrowed it down yet. So I'm working on trying to figure that out. Paul says, I'm in the middle of that video now. Cool. Paul getting all his highs out of the way. Yeah, so it's it's funny because when you hear a rod knocking, a lot of times, it's a pretty distinct sound on a vehicle, especially on an engine, So I thought, all right, sounds like a rod knocking, because when I first fired it up, when it first blew and all that stuff, I thought, sure enough, that was a rod knocking. But I thought after firing it up this time, it made a whole new sound, and it didn't sound like the rod knocking. There's Chris. What's happening, Chris and Bev? So I wasn't sure what's going on with it, so I got her over there to the shop. It's underneath the carport now, so at least I can start working on stuff and trying to figure that out. So like I said, it really sounds like it's a cracked flywheel, and because when I started it up with with the inspection cover and the dust cover off of there, some call it an inspection cover, some call it a dust cover. But when I fired it up and got that off of there, you could see that torque converter vibrating a little bit. And so it's a good possibility that 90% of my issue is right there. And then having an air leak on my intake is not helping either. So, before I left Florida, I had a guy put a new set of heads on there and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think he did that very well. We'll just say that I don't think he did me right on that. But according to Tony, now there's a good possibility that thing is just leaking, and that's the reason it's making that popping sound. And also, there's a possibility that there's Silo. What's happening? There's a possibility that my knock sensors are going out or bad. So. I know, Russ. I know. It made me, yeah, when I first fired it up this morning, boy, it was like, ow. Yeah. At the other end. I know. And I'm going to go. I think that's probably going to be my best bet, Paul, is go ahead and swap that engine anyway, no matter what's wrong with going on in there. And then, with the engine out, I can inspect all that, and the other engine's got a flywheel on it, so I'm not really stressing that part, but I think, well, what I think, Paul, on that, I think the heads were torqued fine, but uh, uh, I know on LS motors, you have to torque them. You have to run it for a few hours, then you have to retorque them, and you know, because the bolts will stretch. So I do know that, and I think what it is he made a mistake on putting the intake in, and it's sucking air somewhere because it runs fine for a while, and then every now and then it'll just like it gets a boost of air through the intake that's not supposed to be there, and it'll start bucking and popping for a couple of minutes, and then it'll take back off again. Paul said hi, shorty. So yeah, as you can see, I've been out there underneath it making it happen. Hey, Gwen.
Hi, everyone.
So Mary's back here. She's trying to get her video out as normal and doing dinner, the whole 9 yards. It's 5 o'clock. Oh, Chris said they got tornado sirens going off here in Norman, Oklahoma. It sounds like it's going to be fun here. Oh, man. That's the stuff, Chris, that they're talking about coming at us tonight. So I'm hoping, yeah, definitely stay safe. I'm with Paul on that one. Let's hope that everybody stays safe on that one and it just cuts through a field. Crops we can regrow. So everybody saying, hey, Mary.
Yeah, howdy, howdy.
Yeah, we just don't have, where we're doing our lives now, you know, at this desk, you know, we just don't have enough room for both of us to sit here. So it's just easier to get the camera back there and have her sit back there. And this way she can still work on her stuff and still get up and move around. So there's Mike Birch. What's happening, brother? Just finished watching a video with the beast. Yeah, thank you. Mike Birch says, here I am. So yeah. It's I'm hoping no more rain, y'all. Like David and I were talking a while ago, like, is this ever gonna stop? I mean, it's like just getting nutty with the amount of rain. Thought it was April showers bring May flowers, not June showers. You know, like we don't even get this much rain in Florida. Yeah, they're saying 49% chance early morning, and then 54% chance tomorrow, and then 71 and 55 again for Friday and Saturday. So, man, stop already. There's Ralph Davis. Judy says rain is coming. Man, I'm hoping not. Let me check the radar here. Let's see what. My radar is not showing any rain anywhere near me right now, but let's blow it up a little bit. See what we got. Oh yeah, I see it coming out of Oklahoma City now. So, and it may not even get to us, y'all. Let me see if I can show you that. So it may not even get to us. So let's hope not. There's Diamond Ridge Homestead. What's happening? Yeah, Mary's back there. Well, she wasn't just back. Yeah, she's back there.
Right here.
Shorty's the one who went in the house. So I'm blaming Mary for you not getting further with the beast, Gary. Fancy sending Big Bertha into that swamp pit. I know, right? But you know, it was funny because I rolled back and forth through there. I don't know how many times, you know, within the hour, getting all them big piles out of there. And I got them all out of there. It wasn't until just the last few branches I went to take off. And all of a sudden it just went, doop, that was it. Game on. So it's like, good Lord, man. Wes, just where you needed another sinkhole. Yeah, but it's okay, Wes. You know, it's we already knew that all of that out there was like that. I mean, so I kind of expect all that out there. So I'm not really stressing that too bad because, you know, eventually that's all going to get built up because there's still a lot of dirt to come out of the J pond plus the big pond. So we're building all of that property up to where we get a couple of feet of dirt right there and not have to worry about it, you know. So this way I can roll up on there. But, you know, like I said, once we get all the trees out of there and get everything cleared the way it's where we want it, there's not going to be any heavy equipment riding on it anymore, so we don't have to worry about it. And it's just Bertha that's so heavy, and she's so heavy on 4 points that when she hits, she sinks, and that's just the nature of it. There's Bobby. What's happening, brother? 88 here again today, and again tomorrow. However, tomorrow the storm's hitting, and of course humidity is going to. Ah, man, girl, you don't even know what humidity is till you come down here or go to Florida. Like, people are talking about the humidity here. This ain't humidity compared to Florida. What's happening, Gary? So yeah, I mean, like I said, humidity, you ain't seen nothing yet. Even Jenica, she lives up there in Coldwater. Excuse me. And the first time she came to Florida to see me, like, she was like, "Oh my God, this is hot. This is crazy humid." And I was like, "Yep, well, see." And you thought the humidity was bad in Michigan. You can still be a bum, but hit that thumb, right? That's right, Paul. Go ahead, be a bum all you want to, but hit the thumb. We will be needing pokies. I don't care who you are. Right there's Benny. I got that from Short Circuit. That guy on there and the way he talks, that just cracked me up. And even to this day, when I hear watch that movie, that guy just breaks me down. And then if any of y'all ever remember the Long John Silver's commercial with the Russian guy on there, that breaks me down. So yeah, like I said, I'm not worried about tearing it up. We even had a few comments the other day about me getting the machine in there and constantly digging and making holes and all that kind of stuff. We're not stressing that at all. Like I said, there's going to be so much dirt coming out of that big pond back there that all of this is all going to get raised up, and we're not going to have to worry about that. And we're sloping it the right way, so you got to tear it up before you can make it right. That's just the nature of it. So Silo says it's bad enough here, definitely not going south. Rob won't be able to handle it anyway with his COPD. It's actually not that bad here, as far as that goes. I mean, Florida, humidity, it's humid, so you do the AC thing and keep on trucking, There's Greg and Gina, what's happening? So hey, Mary, would you grab Shorty for me for a sec? In the house. So yeah, it's like I said, it's all good. This humidity here doesn't rattle us at all. And maybe in another year or two, it might start really bothering us. But like right now, it's what 63% humidity. In Florida, this would be 98% humidity, and right on the edge of rain. But we wouldn't get it.
Yes.
Please. There's Kelly Legg. She made it. Yay. So like I said, we're just that's the nature of building all this property up, y'all. You got to go through this and you got to deal with it. But it's every day we just keep amen to that, Bobby. We just keep pulling it up and bringing it up and just keep digging and keep going and doing our thing. Thank you, dear. Donald Markham says, I lived in Florida 5 years and the humidity was horrible. I was around Homestead. Homestead is way worse than where we were at. Because Homestead, you're just far enough inland that you don't get any of that ocean breeze, or a Gulf breeze. Now, go to Key West. I mean, even though that's only 40, 50 miles from Homestead, that's still rough, and that's pretty nasty. There's Cassie's Kitchen Creations. I always love saying her name. It's like, all right, let's see if I can do it. Cassie says, hello, everybody. So, like I said, it's no big deal. I remember my first time going to Florida, though. I think I was like 14 or 15, and I was down in Key West. And yeah, that first year, I thought I was going to die down there because, being from Michigan. But at the same time, like I said, once you're there a couple of years, you don't bother you. I prefer the snow to the humidity. No, don't do it, Paul. It's a trap. Yeah, yeah. Southern Louisiana, it's like Florida, you know, because you're just I don't know. It's just nasty. So Kelly Lay, what's the next big thing? Did you see the video today? That's one of the next big things. That is going to be one of the very big next things. Is I will be starting to transport everything over there, weather permitting, and start getting this going. So I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't seen the video yet. So, but the next big thing is that, and Mary's really kicking tail on getting that all them piles down out there. So we're starting to get a lot of grass growing out there. I mean, other than a couple spots I got stuck again, but you know, it is what it is. At least everything is drying out pretty fast. So I'm grateful for that. So even with the little bit of rain we have been getting, it usually dries out in a day or so versus before. Um, you know, it was taking weeks to dry out. Yeah, well, one just came out a little while ago, Kelly. So, so I can't spill all the beans for you, man. You got to go watch the video, even though I know you will. And thank you for that. Yeah, the canopy is a lot stronger now, Wes. It sure is. Like we've already had about some 18, 20-mile-an-hour gusts, and that thing didn't hardly move. And for some of you that sent me the messages about putting maybe some fence posts down there and all that kind of stuff on the legs, I may eventually do that. But on the same note, I've had some other thoughts about maybe just start collecting 4x4s and eventually just building the roof completely over top of that, and then eventually taking that down from the inside. And this way, the whole shop, you know, just is that way. It'll take it to that 40 by 30 area, and then open it all up and just have me a couple of posts in the center, you know, which still gives me plenty of room. So Charles Macy, this Iowa boy also loves the snow. Yeah, I mean, you know, the snow, y'all. We had that 13 inches this year. We did have fun with it. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy it. Only to like when I'm done, I want to be able to go away. You know, like when it's done its thing and I've done played in it for a little while. All right, then I'll go away. You know, but yeah, I mean it is what it is. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. And like I said, you know, as we go on through this whole journey, you know, we will slowly but surely get more prepared for snow and you know, have a little more going on there as far as like being able to tolerate it better. You know, like we do have the insulation for the barn now, and hopefully we'll have an AC unit here soon. And you know, we do have some other things going on in here that's going to be happening real soon. Um, so you know, all of that is gonna Bobby, that happens everywhere. I don't care if you're where you're at. Snow is pretty when it first comes down. It's pretty to watch when it comes down, but then it turns to that brown, nasty stuff, and then everything looks dirty and dead. And I think that's most of the reason I don't like snow. Um, like I said, it's fun. You know, if you're sitting in a cabin, you know, mountain lodge with a hot tub and you know drinks and all that kind of stuff and fireplace, yeah, snow is awesome. Especially if you ain't got to get out in it for a couple of days, or you can get on a snowmobile and play in it for a couple of days. You know, that's different. So Ronnie Dowdy said, I just finished watching you work on your truck. Thank you, Ronnie. Everything takes time. When rushed, it's when mistakes happen. I agree. I agree, so. Kelly Legg, by the way, I love the idea of the other channel for the helpful mindfulness. Okay. You know, and I'm, like I said, everybody's been kind of giving me input on my direction as far as um, how my channel is going and input on, you know, filming. So I'm hoping I'm getting better with that, moving the camera around and getting some better views and spending a little more time on my editing and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm hoping that's working. So I figured let me let me work on that a little bit more and not worrying about so much about having a new video every single day. That's the part that was starting to stress me out was, um, I think part of that was hurting my channel as well. Because I wasn't getting as quality of views because I was trying to rush everything. Does that make sense? Why not do what Gary did, and Gary and Mel did on the 4136? They got their goat shed built into a frame. Yeah, and there is that possibility, Paul, of taking that once, eventually taking that out of there and moving that out to where the animals are going to be and doing that and setting that up for something like that. So like, you know, hogs and chickens or whatever she decides that we're going to do out there. Well, thank you, Kelly. Snow is the worst here in the riverbed that we live in. I know, right? Uh, And I still, Paul, I still do love playing in the rain sometimes. It's the mud that I can't stand. There's Tony. What's happening, brother? Yeah, it's the mud that drives me nuts around here. If you get a half an inch of rain out here, you go out there and try to walk in it. Next thing you know, your feet feel like they weigh 40 pounds each. And it's like somebody just wrapped a couple of barbells around your feet and you're trying to walk in it. But, eventually, okay, thank you, Kelly. Eventually, that will all get to the point where it's all going to be grass and it'll be pretty and we won't have to worry about the mud as much. Like going out to there to the chickens, all that will eventually be grass going out through there, and the one ditch that feeds the duck pond. Eventually that water will be diverted and that ditch will be like wider, like a big slope there, so the water will flow down it naturally, but yet you can still drive a four-wheeler or what have you like that across it. And that's a lot of the plan for like around the shop area going to the J pond. It'll have a wide enough area, and with all the grass there, it'll just flow naturally and not have to worry about it just sitting there and puddling up. At least the grass will soak it up faster and get rid of it. So that's the plan for that. So, if y'all just bear with us, yeah, it's coming along. I mean, we technically haven't even been living here yet a year. It's not till June 15th that we'll make our official 1 year here. So, oh, they unsubscribed you. Oh no, that's it. We're telling the boss on them. We will not be putting up and tolerating that. So yeah, it's just like I said, if you'll just bear with us, we keep going slowly but surely. Every day we make a little bit more progress. Mary's been out there kicking butt on getting all that brush out of there while I'm working on all the other little stuff. So I even had a comment. Somebody said something about, well, Mary does all the hard work and you don't do nothing but play on Bertha. Well, they don't know all the stuff that I do in the background without Bertha. We only use that tractor for the heavy stuff that we can't do by hand. And I'm constantly doing stuff in the barn, constantly doing stuff in the shop, trying to get all of that slowly but surely organized. And I agree, Wes. Hopefully by next winter we will be in good shape and I'll have a truck and it's four-wheel drive. And there's a reason I call that truck the Beast. Like that thing just it's so low geared. Like you can't do more than about 130 miles an hour without that thing tacking out. You know what I mean? Because it's so low geared. But on the same note, if it's getting traction, I think it'll just about pull a house off its foundation. So, and it's got the 12,000 pound winch, and I've got one snatch block that I found. I must have lost the other one, but you put that on there, and there's pretty much nothing you can't pull with it. YouTube has a tendency to do that, yeah. Just pick a day to check your channels and make sure you're still subbed to your favorites. That's right, Paul. Thank you. Well, I forget how long you have been there so short a time. I know. I think a lot of people do that. I think they do forget that we haven't been here that long. It's not even been a full year that we've actually been on the property. And so, you know, I think we have come an extremely long way in a short period of time. Like a lot of people don't realize how much we've actually done when they start watching our channel, and then they just see this little bit that we've been dealing with as far as the mud, especially a lot of new subscribers. They don't see all the stuff that we had been through prior to this. There's Bellico. What's happening? Mary's in the back. Wait, Mary.
Hello.
She's doing her video, trying to get it out, and also trying to watch stuff here. So, and like I said, eventually we're gonna get this set up to where we can both sit in here and you know, we can both kind of sit there and chat, and she can still do her thing without being cramped up. Because right now where the desk is sitting, like we have the couch right there, and then the TV's right there. So there's really not a lot of space here to set all that up. I built the desk as a quickie temporary setup so I could start doing my editing and what have you like that. But eventually all of this is going to change right here. So yeah, it is a cluster bleep, and it's going to happen here real soon. Oh, there's Daryl. What's happening? Not your daddy, my friend and brother from another mother. And I'd seen Auntie Ann pop in here a minute ago. Gary needs to build a float under what? under the RV for rainy season. And you know that all that water that we got, y'all, as soon as I pumped that pond down, within about 6-8 hours, that was dry. So eventually, at some point, that may I may pipe that out. But on the same note, I may just you know, let it do its thing, and I'll put some plastic on there, put dirt back down on there, and then fill it with concrete, and then I won't have to worry about it. Because you know, at some point, y'all, this not your daddy's cougar's coming out of here. You know, like I said, at some point, it is coming out of here. And you know, we were even talking about maybe adding a nice little section onto the front of the barn out here to maybe like kind of make it so it doesn't look like just a square box, you know. Ariel, I just did kind of a year-end review video a while back, that premiere not long ago. Getting better by the day, Paul. Oh man, I mean, Daryl, that's awesome. Where's your mama at? Where's Jackie? Surprised I ain't seen her yet. I do miss y'all. I sure wish you'd bring your body out here, man, to see all this. Because a lot of you don't know that Daryl was a big part of helping us get out here, and that I am forever in your debt, my friend. For instance, I think you and Mary did an amazing job in this short of time. Almost all of it by hand. It's only just been the last few months that we've had, you know, the backhoe up here, but yeah, all the rest of this has been mainly done by hand. And thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. You know, that premiere took me a couple of days, and boy, I didn't realize how much video was there to try to go through, and then you gotta go through and pick out little bits and pieces to make it somewhat look good. And I don't know. I think I did okay. I mean, but you know, I'm a personal critic there, so you know. We love y'all too, man. I sure can't wait for you to come out here and see this, because you just don't, brother. Daryl, you don't have no idea how grateful we are for that. You know, you had a big. Jackie's in the background telling Daryl what to say, right? Oh, Jackie got the stick. Thank you, Shiloh. We appreciate that. Yes, I think we did too. I mean, that I will we'll toot our own horn on that one. I think we really did on that. And you know, and while I'm doing all this other little stuff, Mary's been kicking butt over there trying to get the rest of those piles down. So then when we start taking out the rest of those trees over there by the J pond, that we're just going to cut them up, haul them off as we go, instead of doing what we did last time and just knocking down so many of them all at once. You know, it's a learning curve. All of this is a learning curve. So on the same note, you know, like I said, we're just going to take them out a little at a time, cut them up to firewood, the branches, burn them just like we did when we first got here, instead of trying to go all hog wild on everything all at once. So that's the plan there. You know, as David even said again earlier today, it's a game plan, not a set plan. uh, she's snoozing. Uh-oh. And he answers, I agree. The property looks totally different and so much better than when y'all moved there. I know, right? It's like amazing. It still amazes me, the transformation. And, you know, and we're only on the first acre and a half here. We haven't even got back there behind Rachel and Sean's yet. So, you know, just imagine what that's going to look like when we start clearing all that out and start building that pond back there. Because, you know, a lot of that low area back there, that's all going to get built up as well. And then, you know, we're going to build that pond back there and have a nice big tall bank going all the way around it. So, and be able to, you know, enjoy some of that. There's Reverend Joe Jacobson. What's happening, my friend? Gary, at least you can walk around instead of crawling like a sniper. I know, right, Gary? Yeah. Gary remembers from the very first time we found this place, like the amazing difference. And like I said, I appreciate everybody for joining us every week and watching our journey go through this. And I got to go and get my storm prep finished. I'll leave this running, Gary. Thanks, Bobby. I appreciate that. So, okay, everybody just saying hi now. Yeah, Bobby lives right there in town. So Bobby's actually very close to us, which is very cool. Like, you know, if I had one of them, one of them Hulk arms, I could probably throw a rock and hit his house. Not that I'd want to, but you know, he might throw it back. So anyway, yeah, we're just gonna hopefully the storm is not gonna get us too badly. Let me see what it's doing right now. You know, David was talking about how, you know, 6-7 days worth of rain, and I'm hoping not, because my end is only showing 50% chance. So, you know, if we get a little sprinkle, that dries out almost immediately. Brian says, I remember, yeah, very first day out here, starting to clear. She got her nose right off the bat. Yep. Hey, Brian, hey, David, what's happening? What did he say? I missed it. I have to agree with you. The motor sounded strong, but there is definitely an issue where it meets the tranny. Yeah, it does, and man, it's funny because, like I said, when it first happened, it sounded just like a rod knocking, but now, it sounded like that fly with that torque converter or something's going on in there and making all that noise. So, how far away is the fishing holes that you tried to get to? They're not very far, 10-15 minutes down the road. The one is only like 5 or 6 minutes down the road. But that other one, surprising enough, we were a mile out from the lake still, and that water was that high over there. So, oh, Annie Ann says, getting ready to storm here. Of course, it will wait until I'm ready to go to bed. Then it will get strong. Yep. That's Oklahoma. Oklahoma, where the wind comes rushing down the plain. You know, that's tornadoes, you know, those things fascinate me, but it's the ones at night that scare me the most. Like, or, you know, when you know those big storms are coming in late at night, those do get me a little bit on edge. But then on the same note, when I hear it pouring rain, that just helps me sleep better. The way I see it, if I go out in my sleep, I'll never know it, you know, and I won't care. So why be scared of it, you know? Paul says you better get under your mushroom. Oh, you don't live on the plains? Yeah, I'm glad you don't either. Yeah, because the plains are, you know, with that open field, that's where that damage hits. You know, and a lot of times in Arkansas, that seems like that's where all of those hit, is when they're in the wide open plains. But you know, we're in this big river valley, so You know, like you might get one to touch down here, but it's, I don't know, just the way we watch the storms come in around here. Like we'll stay here, and we watched it the other night. Said it was raining here, but all we seen was lightning over there on the mountain, and didn't see anything here. Yeah, rain wrapped. Those are the worst kind because you can't see them at all. You know, all you get is just you're getting that wall of rain coming at you, and you don't know what's going to happen. Now, I have been through quite a few tornadoes in my time. I was in a truck stop in Orlando. You know how whenever you go into a truck stop, all the trucks are lined up like that, right? Well, we heard the siren go off, and it was you could hear that train sound, you know. So I just got back in the bunk and I stuck my arms up like this, and I put my feet against the other bunk, back of the bunk there, and I just sit there and waited for it. And next thing I know, I was peeking out the curtains and I was watching the trucks on the other road just toppling over like dominoes down through there. It was pretty cool, but on the same note, scary. I kept waiting for my truck. Ryan Hall says, y'all have a live stream on right now. Half of Arkansas is under severe storm watch. Yeah, and see, that's like the news guy was saying earlier, like we're at that point where those mountains, they kind of help direct those winds and keep a lot of it away from us. So thankfully, we haven't seen anything super bad other than that one gust that and that was just like a downforce wind from that last tornado that came through here. So, like I said, that's the worst we've seen so far, other than 8-9 inches of rain. Got to see all the damage the next day. I'm glad. Gladly, Daryl says, I'll gladly swap those storms for these hurricanes. Oh, there's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. So I ain't scared of no tornadoes. No, I ain't really. Except tornado. Yeah, well, right? He said, except Tornado Mary. Yeah, the damage, that's I think that's part of the thing that fascinates me about tornadoes is how destructive it can be in one section and 20 feet away from it, not touch nothing, not do anything. Right? Yeah, she is. Oh, speaking of that, the June birthdays, for those of you that don't know, 2 days. This one here has a birthday. Yep, 2 days. June 5th.
Don't tell no one.
And she's not quite an old fart yet, but she's right there at it. It's like she's so close to old fart, it's like just jumping over the hill. Shorty might be getting to set her stormy little self, right? Exactly. Aren't all women like that though? To a point, hell has no fury like a woman scorned. Oh, cool, Cassie. That's awesome.
Cassie, happy birthday!
Well, yeah, let's get you an early happy birthday.
Woo! Thank you.
Let's see, Paul already knows how old you are. He said gets to be 44, but I think you're going to be 45, right?
No, you're totally wrong. Both of you.
46.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to be 46 this year. That's what I thought. She was on the cusp of that. And then Judy's on the 15th of June.
Judy, happy birthday early.
I know, watching parties, Daryl says that watching parties were a blast in tornadoes in Texas, right? And I agree. I like I said, I think they're pretty cool to a point. I mean, until you have to go through one, and until you have to go through one that damages your stuff or takes out your family, then yeah. David says, my mom's going to be 90. What?
Rachel, you're funny. Go to my page. Give me some
Right?
Hit that stuff.
Yep, 46 this year. Like I said, she's not officially an old fart until you hit that 50 mark, right? Then when you hit that 50 mark, that's when I hear you consider it technically the old fart.
Judy, chocolate cake. That sounds awesome.
Let's see. Mary gets to be 44 again.
Hey, that sounds good.
She's buying that one. She'll
Why
even.
can't I be 21 again?
Let's see. That'd be 46. Would be what? Celebrating what your 25th anniversary of her 21st birthday. So technically 25 again. 46 is still a virgin. Keep on telling that lie. Happy birthday, sweet Mary. God bless you.
Thank you, Nancy.
Judy says, I'm old fart. I'm 64 this year. Yeah, I'm technically an old fart too. Once you hit that 50 mark though, but then actually once you hit that retirement age, and whoever calls it, why did they ever decide to call that retirement age anyway? Because too many retirees are still working. you know. Hey, Tony and Judy, I miss you guys. Okay, that's Rachel. All right.
Yeah, barbecue.
Right, yeah.
Woo!
There's Tim Piles. What's happening? It says happy birthday, Mary.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And Kelly, happy birthday, Mary. Have a great birthday, Mary. Again, is believable 21. No chance. No, it's 25th anniversary of 21.
Thank you all.
Me and Mary want a cake, right? Yes. There's Jazzy. What's happening? Want cake? With lots of homemade frosting. No, I'll admit that we had some girls over here this weekend hanging out, and yeah, everybody was hanging out with the girls, and they were making cakes and all that stuff. Said Nancy Brown says, I'm here. I just turned 76. I am way over the hill, but going over the hill is a blast. I don't think going over is the blast so much as the slide down. Juvenile at heart and worn out mind, right?
63 and a half.
Mike Bird says, I quit drinking when I was 21, June 6th, 1986. Well, congrats. Congrats, Mike. That's awesome. Oh, yeah, and that's right. Judy Jules and the Big Italian, their anniversary is coming up. 30 years, y'all. So let's celebrate some of that. And I know Tony's got a pretty big surprise, so you'll have to go over there and watch their channel because I'm sure they are videoing that big surprise for that 30th anniversary. And I'm not going to spill it on here. You got to go over there and check out their channel on there, what he's doing. David says, only if you live in snow country, right? Right, I agree. That's the big slide down. I miss Rose. Yep, there's Rose. I seen somebody say hi, Rose. I missed it. So hi, Rose. There's Ariel. Ariel says I turned 65 in January. Well, happy belated birthday. Yeah, there. And Monique Poole. Hi there. Hope you're what? Good. You ever put the sticker I made? Not yet. No, actually, I'm waiting because the fittings, y'all, y'all are not gonna believe this. The adapter fittings finally came in for Bertha, so I can put the thumb on. So thank y'all for that. They're finally come in. Now, if I can just get over there to make it happen. So we're gonna see about making that happen tomorrow if possible, and then got to see about getting David over here to help me weld that thing on there. And I could weld it on there, but that's a lot of strength that's going to be on that. A lot of pressure that's going to be on that thumb. So I would rather David do it because he is a much more experienced welder than I am. So, and David said he would be more than happy to help me out with that. Good night, mate. Yeah, I'll send you pop in here. Right? That's funny. Oh, good grief. I can't type. They got them new fingers from Walmart, Annie, and I told you, don't buy them from Walmart. uh, they were made in my hometown in India. Mike Burt's 22 years, the 16th wedding anniversary. Oh, 22 years on the 16th is the wedding anniversary. Oh, cool. Well, happy early anniversary. Nancy P, there's a hi from Florida, from our home state. Congrats on the big day to the both of you, Ann. Oh, there's Brett. What's happening at Butt Nuggets Homestead? I know, right? I got a pair right here for you, Brett. You just gotta come get them. Got a pair right here for you. uh, let's see. So, Rick Jonesy, are you freezing yet? Is it getting super cold? It's probably got to be getting super cold down there. I mean, it is June already, so. And what cracks me up about Australia is like, Christmas. Everybody here in the States, we at Christmas, everybody's expecting snow. Is it going to be a white Christmas? We're going to have a white Christmas. And down there, they're just praying for temperature breaks so they dying on Christmas. uh, he endeavored to celebrate 37 years. So that's awesome. Well, congratulations, Brett and Deb. That is awesome. 37 years. There's Melvin Donnie. What's happening? Did I miss something on there? Paul said, sorry, bro. Sliding down is rad too. I have slid many times. Gary, love all your progress on the beast. Yay, parts are in. Keep the faith. The Lord will see you through. Thank you, Nancy. That's what I'm counting on. It'd be nice if he come down here and put his fingers on that thing so I wouldn't have to, because you can see my hand, right? I mean, they got me already twice today. I don't have that 25-year-old skin no more, so it don't take very much. It's like Big Joe was over here the other day, helped me put that cover on. Like a board just scraped him, and he's like, "Man, I'm starting to get old when a board cuts my skin like that." Yeah, I think that's awesome, Brett and Deborah. 37 years, is that what I read? Wow, man, I don't think I've ever owned anything that long. Oh, he misspelled Jonesy is all. Okay, just making sure. It's like, good eye, mates. Well, Jonesy's got to be about. I'm surprised in the last video he wasn't all bundled up like an Eskimo. Because yes, I do catch them, Jonesy. Oh man, so we got about 11 minutes left. So anybody got any questions for me, or give me some positive input? That's what I need. I will need input. Input. I'm still trying to catch back up on the comments here real quick. All right, so everybody congratulating them, Brett and Deborah. So how are y'all doing down there, man? How's that little mini excavator doing? Dave Sylvester says, I thought we were the only ones stuck together for 37 years. That's funny. Gary, will you be building a swamp buggy for the Gemstead? You and the other YouTubers over there can start a league. I know, right? I would love to find an old samurai and be able to get the channel to the point where we're making enough making enough money where I could build something like that, because I think that would just be awesome up here. I really want to find another Samurai that I can put tracks on, you know, full size tracks, and be able to just go anywhere with that thing. Um, Jonesy said, we will celebrate 40 years as a married couple or married in a couple of months. Wow. Well, let us know, Jonesy, when you hit that 40, man. We're going to have to do a cool one on there. 40 years. That's awesome. So 1 gallon buckets of Arkansas mud. Remember, pet rocks, right? I don't care who you are. That is funny. Yep, Grady's are next up here. Wondering how they're doing up there. They hunkering down with that crazy idiot on the loose. You know, and if y'all haven't seen the Grady's videos lately about, you know, that crazy ex-cop, imagine that now, ex-sheriff committing murder and rape and all that kind of stuff, and now he's figured out how to get himself, broke out of jail, or broke out of prison and on the run. Daryl, did you read that one too?
Yeah, that's what I
Daryl, all right. That right there's
Why
funny
did you
too.
say it broke into pieces?
Jazzy says, congratulations, Jonesy.
It got cracked up one day.
Yes, Mary said she had a pet rock, but it broke up. David Muppet, Leah and I will have been together 12 years soon. Bought a house and made a life. All is good. Man, that is awesome, David. 12 years. Paul says, I celebrate 32 years for my first divorce in August. Oh, that's funny, Paul. Paul says, I don't need no stinking woman. Brian, well, 6-minute warning. Man, 40 years of being the same person. I mean, that's pretty awesome. I don't care who you are, but just you know, I had a discussion with my sister the other day about this, about the definition of love. And love doesn't have to be all googly eyes and all that kind of stuff all the time. It's about how much of the other person's crap can you tolerate for how long? You know. Brett says my pet rock had googly eyes. I stole them from the rock. I told you I got a bigger glasses now. And I still no can see. He said 8, not 6. Well, actually, man, some of those voices I do, they get my. I'm ambidextrous, right? Just get a new girlfriend every week. Tony says my pet rock ran off. Ray Hoffman, my wife passed away in 2018. We would have been married 50 years in August. I turned 70 in October. Oh, Ray, I'm sorry to hear that, but that is awesome. That, you know, that I mean, 50 years. That's 40, even 49 years. That's a long time, man, to be with somebody. Oh man, the comments started flying on me. And Rose said 45 years in August. That is awesome. Been crazy busy lately. Everyone have a fabulous weekend. I agree, Shiloh. And still haven't seen that van coming on the road yet.
Judy, you're hilarious.
Right? So I was so Paul the rocks had to come pay me to visit them. Beatrice married 43 years. Wife wanted to leave, but no one wanted the kids, right? No, you take them. No, you take them. I'll pay you extra. You take them. You know, it reminds me of the joke about the highway patrolman. A guy's flying through South Carolina, 120 miles an hour. Highway patrolman comes up and gets on him, and he speeds up 140 miles an hour. The cop chases him down. Finally, after about 30 minutes, he pulls over. The cop walks up there and says, "Man, if you can give me one good reason why I had to chase you that long, and you finally stopped." He said, "Well, 2 weeks ago, my wife ran off with a highway patrolman, and I thought maybe it was you trying to bring her back." Cop didn't give him no ticket. Kevin Deeds, hey guys, just walked in the door from work, and I'll go back. Kevin, don't say that work word. That is a 4-letter word. I'm so poor I can't pay attention. Me either. I take donations for attention. I always regretted that decision, but my daughter would not be here if I hadn't. Well, see, so that's not so much regret. Paul never ever lived with regret. Decisions are just made, and they are what they are. So he knows the punchline. So yeah, never. Like I said, I try my best not to ever live with regret. I do look back sometimes and think, well, what if I'd have changed that? But I think everybody does that at some point in their life. What if I'd have done this different? But you'll never know because you didn't do it different. So you just live with it, and you keep on being happy, and you keep on being positive, and you keep on striving for that next big thing. And and if you're happy with where your life is at, great. But if you're missing something or you need something extra, step out that box. Too many people go through life living in this box, and they might stick their eyeball out that box, or they might stick a finger out that box and feel the different air, but they never step outside of it because that's a comfort zone. And you have to, I suggest to all people to do this. Step outside of that comfort zone. Get out there. Try it. Live life. Don't let life live you. Right? You only get to do this once. Oh, there's Lawrence Smith. Hi from Kentland, Kentucky. Kentland, Indiana. So, David says, I look back at my son. I'm sorry he turned out to be the America's Most Wanted list, but it wasn't my choice. Well, and David, you can't even look back at that. Those are decisions that humans make. We do our best as parents to raise them the best we can. If they turn out to be on the most wanted list, well, if they turn out however, we do the best we can, but they make their own choices. All we can do as parents is teach them the best we can to try and make those right choices. But in the end, once they turn 18, that's their business, So, if they turn out to be the serial killer from who knows, but that's just what it is. So it looks like we got a couple of minute morning here. Blessings and shalom, Ariel. We appreciate that. So yeah, like I said, don't ever live with regret, y'all. Step outside of that comfort zone. Try something different. Check it out. You never know. Like I said, with my sister, I was even having a talk with her about that the other day. That sometimes you got to step out that box and see what else is out there, because you never know. You live in that box for too long, and eventually that box starts getting smaller and smaller. And you never know if you can't get out, because by then you may not be able to stretch your arm far enough to get a hard enough punch to get out. So think about it that way. So anyway, my late wife was on most wanted list for a couple of months before we decided to get married. Now there's a good one, Reverend. That's a good one. So anyway, it looks like we got about a minute left. I'm gonna give y'all a break here. Go see over there and check out the Grady's. I am sure Tim is going live, even though I haven't seen the notification yet. So go check out Tim at Ridge Life. He's definitely a hoot. And go check out the Grady's right after us, following us. So y'all be safe out there. Step outside that box. Make that change. All right. We love y'all. Thanks for joining us every night. And we'll see you all tomorrow or next week, whichever one comes first. I'll bet you can't guess which one it is. All right. Bye, guys. Is that Anderson?